All right, now we'll be back. We're into the third hour of the show, coming to you live from Plot 42 Nile Avenue. And this time around, we are talking technology and innovation. Thematic Wednesday for entrepreneurship. And when we talk innovation and technology, clearly, among the key aspects of the national budget yesterday, as I was breaking it down for you here, they did mention something to do with agro-industrialization, but most probably, if I'm to look at the issue of innovation, technology development and transfer, the money that was allocated to those sectors is 274 billion shillings, as the country is embracing technology as a sector that will be key in the next financial budget. And with our topic of discussion, we are looking at technology and innovation in Uganda. Well, and joining me is the Managing Director, Algem Technologies, Emmanuel Aliao. Good morning, Emma.
Good morning.
Good to have you back again. And how have you been in general?
I've been great.
Okay.
Great, yeah.
I would want us to start from Algem Technologies. What is Algem Technologies, and a simple breakdown for a viewer to understand?
Well, Algem Technologies, as you've been ushering in the topic of technology and innovation. Algem Technologies is an innovations and technology company. We're an IT firm and with a vision to be the leading global innovator of dynamic and secure systems developed with professionalism.
Oh.
So what we basically do, we innovate ideas. People come to us with their ideas that they want to, digital ideas, innovations that they want to put out there. And then we help them idealize it and develop it, implement it, and make it go live so that the person can solve problems out there using the innovations. So Algem Technologies is actually a company that started during the innovation era. I call the innovation era, I refer it to the COVID-19 period, because that is when most businesses went online. That is when most innovative companies came up, like mine. We started actually back in 2020, though we got incorporated in 2021, because we wanted to solve some problems during the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the things that we did was to help the government develop an innovative platform which would help vehicle owners to get digital tickets that can allow them to move during the pandemic with their vehicles. And also we worked on e-learning platforms to help during that pandemic period where people were at home. So basically that's what Algem Technologies is all about.
Yes. Looking at, if you can take us at least simply preamble, the birth journey of Algem.
Well, it starts with the passion. The passion began way back, not in 2020.
Okay.
And the name actually goes way back, about a decade ago.
Okay.
That's when the name was formed. Algem actually comes from my name. Okay. That is AL for Aliao, J for Jablon, and EM for Emmanuel. So that's Algem Technologies.
Okay.
So we've been very focused on technology-related issues. Personally, I've been developing websites before I actually incorporated the company, and been also developing software. I'm a software engineer myself. So with that experience and knowledge, I decided, why not commercialize this? Why not put it out there, and people can make a platform where people can come and innovate their ideas with us, and visualize it for them.
Okay.
So during the pandemic, 2020, since most businesses were operating from home, there was a surge in website development outreach. People wanted a lot of websites, so we started getting a lot of orders. That is when we decided, you know what, let us form a company, incorporate this company, so that people can actually visit us officially for business. So that is how Algem Technologies was birthed, and then we now started coming up with innovations, and here we are.
Okay, and now breaking it down into technology and the issues with the e-commerce sector. Government here says the country is going to fully embrace technology in the next financial year, and the sector will be very key. You mentioned something to do with websites. Of what impact are websites in this era?
Well, websites, first of all, when it comes to business, websites give you credibility.
Okay.
Most especially because of the acceleration that the pandemic has caused. That has made a lot of, it has made a great demand and need for websites. So when you have a website, somebody takes you more seriously. You get more credibility. People access you worldwide. Because when you have a website, somebody in the US can type your website name and access you and get all your information, and they can call you. So it's faster for communication in terms of business. And then, I talked of the credibility. So most of the time when you have a website, a business, it's going to be much easier for a layman out there to take you much more seriously and trust you with their business, because they will say this person at least has a website, and we can trust him that he's business oriented. Yeah. So basically, websites help you visualize your dreams, help you make your business to go public and reach further than it should.
Okay, and shaping up the sector, the government did mention that this time around the sector has to be, we have to embrace technology, and the sector is going to be key. Looking at our generation currently, how can we shape it into the generation of, let's say, for example, e-commerce, and then shape technology, an economy that is driven by technology and innovation? How can we shape this one?
Well, first of all, when it comes to what you've just mentioned, I have heard you mention e-commerce. One has to think about security. You have to think about how you're going to be secure as you perform your e-commerce business. Because when it comes to transactions online, that has to do with e-commerce, there are a lot of security issues that are involved. And if they are not looked at carefully, one can easily mess up, and then things can go sideways. So looking at getting into the technology world, people have to think more creatively, people have to be more innovative, and then one thing that has helped people become more creative and innovative has been the recent pandemic that we're just getting past. It has accelerated people's minds and made them become more innovative. That's why you've realized ever since that time, a lot of websites have been developed. The number of websites on the internet has increased. A lot of businesses have gone online. There are more transactions done, especially in Uganda these days. Before that, it was quite hard to find any kind of business online. It was quite hard for you to make orders online because people didn't trust these e-commerce platforms.
Okay.
It was hard for you to study online. But these days, you're able to study online, you're able to make transactions online, you're able to conduct most of your business online. Actually, there are most businesses that have actually now fully gone online because of the innovation that is, and the technology world that is taking up shape.
Okay, and speaking of technology taking shape and all that in the world of innovation, quite a number of things are coming up in Uganda. A number of platforms are being introduced. A number of innovators are coming up with new ideas and shaping the world aggressively with new innovations in that regard. But Emma, if you're to as well help a viewer understand, if you're to look at the technology in Uganda, first let's try to address the challenges that people like you or innovators are facing in Uganda, because we may think we are shaping our economy to hit the digital space, to be electronically driven, to be driven by a lot of innovation and at least compete with other countries. But what are those challenges that we need to address and check out as individuals or as the entire country?
Well, firstly, we know that internet is a very vital part of technology and innovation. So when it comes to Uganda, the challenge is the internet infrastructure. The internet is good, but the infrastructure is not powerful enough to make it to make the internet fast enough for people to conduct business on time. So the first thing that needs to be looked at is the internet infrastructure to make it better, to make it faster, to make everyone that is even the people in the remote areas to be able to access the internet. So once that is sorted, once that challenge is settled, it will give a platform for other technological ideas to come up, especially in Uganda, because that is the major problem that we have right now. So once that platform is set and everything is running fine, a lot of innovative technology will start coming up. And you will see the technology in Uganda growing mostly. Okay. Growing because of that big challenge.
For the years that our team has been in place, let's talk about the idea of picking up. You mentioned COVID, the lockdown, and all that. Which are some of those prospects that you look at and feel like, in terms of the future prospects, and you feel like we have a journey to go, or we have, at least we are optimistic that this is going to happen and it will be on a good note?
Well, from the experience that we've had as RGM Technologies, they've brought in, we've had a lot of, the good thing about being in this section, okay, the IT world, in this seat where you develop people's ideas, a lot of people come to you with creative innovations, creative technologies, creative solutions, digital solutions that need to be solved. And you realize that a lot of Ugandans actually have the mind of solving problems digitally. But the only challenge that they have is the technology and the experience and the knowledge that they need in order to bring out that technology. So with the experience that we have, it is, we realize it's the major reason as to why we actually decided to bring out this kind of company to help technology out there to be birthed in the right way, so that we can move in the right direction. And looking at the way technology is moving in this country, Uganda is becoming one of the fastest growing countries in terms of technology. Okay. It has had a lot of startups. According to certain surveys, Uganda has had one of the highest number of startups, okay, in Africa. So that means we are actually moving in the right direction. It means once we keep on supporting innovation and technology, and we handle some of the challenges that are within the way, maybe the government gets involved in supporting the youth and innovators, then I believe we shall be able to move forward. We shall be able to reach where we ought to reach as a country in terms of technology.
Okay. Yes. And then you feel we have a slight change in that. But also, looking at the COVID-19 pandemic that you mentioned, I wanted to have a question immediately when you mentioned something about COVID. Yes. How did it impact on our adaptability to the world of innovation?
Well, it had a very huge impact. Okay. It actually made most people who had biased ideas about technology. It has made them to actually embrace technology, to see that certain things which are done through technology and innovation can actually work out. Okay. It has made them know that you can, for example, you can actually study online. My children can study online. Maybe if I have not been able to pay school fees, I can get an online school, or I get a teacher that can tutor my children. It has made people actually to embrace online transactions. Okay. You realize that mostly these days, people don't mostly use cash. Majority of the time, people are using digital money. So there's been a lot of digital transactions, mobile money, mobile banking, and stuff like that. Then also, there's that education bits, then there's that digital transactions, then buying stuff online. Most people in the country didn't trust these online platforms that were selling items that people like. They wouldn't they wouldn't look at it as something that would deliver according to what they would need. Most of them were more traditional, had the more traditional way of going to the shop. You buy whatever you want and you come back home. But these days, because of the pandemic, people have actually embraced that technology and actually realized that it is actually possible for you to order for something from Kampala and send it up country and make a payment securely. So the pandemic has helped so much to let people embrace technology and innovation.
Okay, and embracing technology and innovation is one of the key things that most people, like he mentioned, have been picking up with the pandemic. But when you get in touch with most probably the young innovators, in the world and the field that you're in, most of them say they're facing some challenges. Is there any way the government has pitched in to at least help people in your field?
Yes, yeah, that is true.
Okay.
Because the government, some of the things that, some of the ways the government has pitched in is by creating, let's say, platforms where people come up with innovative ideas. For example, we shall go back again to the pandemic. When the pandemic just started, I remember the government announced that we are looking for innovators to come up with ideas or technologies that can help fight this pandemic in whatever way, you know, in terms of movements during the pandemic, in terms of studying online, in terms of delivery of vaccines. So one of the ways I see that the government is helping is by opening up these platforms that people can innovate. There's within the Ministry of ICT, there's a branch called National Initiative of Innovative Technologies, that is NISP. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's in this program. That is one branch of the ministry that has that is open out there for people to actually bring out their innovative ideas. So once they have a certain digital solution that they require, if they, let's say they want to change the whole process of how people can open companies with URSB, because the procedure right now is very manual. So they have been looking at ways of moving it online. So they come out, announce to the public that we want you to come up with innovative technologies to solve this problem. Okay. So I believe that's one of the ways that the government is helping. Then you also just mentioned at the beginning of this interview that there's a chunk of the budget that has been allocated for technology and innovation. So I believe that's one way that the government is also helping the country to get into the technology world, and Uganda reaches there within a period of time.
Okay. And speaking of technology and you shaping Uganda's technology and innovation sector, we are still breaking down a little more of that in our discussion here with Emmanuel Aliao, who is the Managing Director, Algem Technologies, in regards to Uganda's technology space. But most probably, we would want to understand more as well. Now, Emma, if you're to look at some of the key aspects of what are some challenges with our economy that technology can address?
Well, there are various challenges that can be addressed in terms of technology. Okay. When you go to the agriculture section, there are lots of ideas that can come up, and there are a lot of problems that can be solved with technology. You know, tracking your produce. There's been a friend of mine in terms of an innovator who has come up with an innovation called Intelligator. It is an intelligent irrigation scheme that uses technology to know when to irrigate crops. So there are various ideas that can come up in the agriculture field, in the entertainment field. During the pandemic, we saw most of the entertainers were not able to reach out to their public, to reach out to their fans. So there have been these platforms where you go live and do an online concert. That is one of the things that has been brought up. So you look into the agriculture, entertainment, business, banking, education. There are a lot of problems that need to be solved with technology there.
Okay, and of course a lot can be solved with technology, but after the break we are discussing more of the issue to do with we're going to be looking at the future prospects of Uganda's technology and innovation, and later on we shall be having sports business. Stick around and good morning.